much, Sabia. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can.
All right. Thank you so much. We've had a wonderful inaugural session. In fact, had speakers. I think each one of the speakers, Foreign Secretary Harshingla, Ambassador Suzuki, and Mr. Bez Barwa, have really set the stage for, I think, the technical sessions which are to follow. And also, I was quite enjoyed the video presentation by the Asian Confluence of the many Cs which make the pillars of the collaboration of Japan and the northeast of India. So dear participants, all the eminent panelists of this session, we have before us a very, very important subject, which is the Indo-Pacific and India's Northeast, and it's called Connecting the Dots. I'm very honored to share this session. We have just heard of the potential of the region from each one of the speakers who spelled out, I think, the different aspects, but one could see the convergences and the importance really of India-Japan cooperation, the realization of the development and integration of the Northeast, and not only with the rest of the Indian hinterland, but also with the extended neighborhood. Our leaders of India and Japan have spoken several times. We hear this very often about the Northeast being the point of convergence of India's Act East policy and Japan's free and open Indo-Pacific vision. Add to this the high importance that India places on its neighborhood first policy, which we hear of very often now, and one realizes the criticality of the development of the region and connectivity, as this region borders 5 very important neighbors of India: Nepal, Bhutan, China, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. And with these countries, we have ties of history. We've heard the speaker say this morning: history, politics, ecology, the river systems that bind us, mountain systems that bind us, economics, very important for us, culture, and ethnicity. Besides this, this is a region where the success of groupings such as BIMSTEC, BBIN, and even the Big B, which is an initiative of Japan, which was started with Bangladesh, as well as India's own outreach with Southeast Asia, is actually located, is centered. Japan's commitment to the development of the Northeast is also, of course, it's based on the very strong, and we heard mention of it by the Foreign Secretary, the special strategic and global partnership that we have. And in this special partnership that we have, the Northeast has a very, very important role to play. So we heard mention that Japan is the only country with which we have a specific forum, the Act East Forum, which was set up at the direction of the Prime Ministers at an annual summit meeting in 2017. Out of the, I think, the less frequently openly stated factors of why Japan works with India in the Northeast is really the trust factor. I think very few people talk about it. This is a politically sensitive region, and Japan is indeed the most acceptable partner for India. And they have responded to the development needs of India. And I think that is a very important consideration also. Besides this, the joint statements that issue from our summits between our prime ministers, one idea which you find, one mention that you find repeatedly is the principles that bind us on connectivity. And this is that both countries are committed to ensuring the development, use of connectivity infrastructure in an open, transparent, non-exclusive manner based on international standards and responsible debt financing practices, while respecting sovereignty, territorial integrity, rule of law, and respect to the environment. What this really says when you read between the lines is that India and Japan working together provide an alternate option to the countries of the region and much beyond the immediate neighborhood to the Indo-Pacific, the Indo-Pacific region. Now, more to the specifics of the topics of this panel, we have a very, very eminent group of panelists. I'm really looking forward to hearing them. India's Indo-Pacific policy is really well enunciated. We've heard Prime Minister Modi talk about it at the Shangri-La dialogue a couple of years ago. India has close relations with each one of the countries of the region. And as Foreign Secretary just said, has a stake because it's been a partner in the economic development of Nepal and Bhutan, as well as now with Bangladesh, where we have a lot of economic partnership programs. Insofar as Nepal and Bhutan are concerned, which are landlocked nations, I think they're examples of what India's relations with our neighbors are, because we have extended to Nepal and Bhutan facilities which far exceed our strictly legal requirements under international law, such as UNCLOS, recognizing the mutual stake we have in each other. And the same rationale now we extend to Bangladesh and Myanmar. India has strong institutional links with the ASEAN and with individual countries in this region. And as we've heard our earlier speakers say, the Northeast is kind of the bridgehead to the ASEAN. Japan also, like India, shares very close historical ties with the countries of the region that we're talking about, with Nepal, which includes a Buddhist connection, Bhutan. I think after India, probably Japan is the closest partner in the development of Bhutan. There's very, very close ties with Bhutan, and also with Myanmar. Bangladesh has been identified by Japan a few years ago as the hub of what they call the Big B. The Big B vision, which is the Bay of Bengal industrial growth area. I think this has been a development, and besides Bangladesh, I think there's the entire eastern seaboard of India and includes the northeast of India, which could participate and facilitate and benefit from the development of the Bay of Bengal region. Japan recognizes, of course, the strategic importance of the region, and that for its prosperity and stability, inclusive growth is important. And this manifests itself really, as far as Japan is concerned, in the building of physical infrastructure. So they have looked at projects which have included development of roads, as we heard, railways, bridges, ports, multimodal transport, between and connectivity in this region. And from this region onwards, we heard Ambassador Suzuki say, through to Bangladesh, through to the Bay of Bengal, all the way up to Japan. As the cliche goes, we all hear nowadays very often people saying that connectivity is the new oil. And so connectivity has become the center of international discourse for the very obvious benefits that it can bring. The panel today are people who are well familiar with the importance of connectivity and the importance of the region. And I think what we look forward to is, besides elaboration and some analysis of what already has started, is really the way forward. I think we're looking for ideation here and say, what can we do more to make things happen? The ultimate goal is, of course, peace and prosperity of the region. And the reasons, again, are quite apparent. We just had, we just heard them. That is strategic importance, rich natural assets of the region, young demography, fragile ecology, and potential. This is something which is new, which has come post-COVID, that is the potential to contribute to resilient and diversified supply chains, and therefore the importance of entrepreneurship in the region, as was mentioned by Ambassador Suzuki. I think with these few words of introduction, I'm going to hand over to the panel. We just heard that I think the time for each of the panelists is about 10 minutes. And thereafter, we hope that we will have some time for them to take questions and answers and have an informed discussion. So over to Dr. Masahiro Kawai, who is Representative Director and Director General of ERINA and at the University of Tokyo. Over to you, Kawai-san. You have the floor,